Here's the Roaring Spring itself, and back there is where it comes out of the hillside. And right over there is another contender, I feel, for a home for my stage theater. We're going to walk up there. A bit more of this. They say that's very little influenced by floodwater, drought, although that respect is strong now. I mean, it's springtime and the spring runoff is going on. I miss the fish, as about everybody does. Oh, there's a little trout. Oh, there's another little trout. So there's some in here. Oh, the trout are rising. Yeah, they're rising. Maybe it's more natural this way. I don't know. Probably it is. Up there, that little white house is the first house I ever lived in, and the brick house right beyond it is a house that my grandfather bought, and then my mother eventually owned it, and my youngest sister owns it now. But anyway, this is called the Spring Dam, this area. And we're going to go up there and take a look at that as a venue. Got to pause for one more shot. It's just so beautiful here and it's such a beautiful day. There's that venue we're going to look at. That's probably a carriage house or a barn, probably, that went with one of these mansions. They're called the mill owners' homes. This is the first, and there's 5 that go up through there. There's the Eldon Inn. Back there you can see, and there's the Blank Book Factory. I'm not sure the order. It was built in like 3 times, and you know, that was an addition. That was an addition. Maybe there were 4 or 5, and I think the Blank Book Factory burned down at a certain point early. That's Hogback over there. That's the train station. Oh yes, this would be a worthy venue. That would be for the audience to sit in, and where I'm standing is where the stage and or theater could be. Interesting how they protected that tree. It doesn't look too healthy, but I hope that's just because it's a different species from the ones that are in bloom. I don't know. But as somebody said, this is underutilized. That could change. Yeah, that certainly could change. There are more of those mill owners' mansions. I actually know the woman. I've met the woman that lives in, I think, the brick one, the red brick one. Such a beautiful site. S-I-T-E. Well, S-I-G-H-T as well. I see one tree they protected, but it must have died. And I don't know, this one, it doesn't look healthy. But this, oh, and there's another one. Look at the care they took. And perhaps another one there, I don't know. Look at the care they took. But as a woman I was talking to was saying, this is underutilized. Boy, that could certainly change. Yeah, this, as if anyone were contending, but I would say that this venue right here would be a major contender for a place for that Elizabethan theater. I've got one more to show you. But before we leave, let's take one more look at the Big Spring, the Roaring Spring. Its older name is the Big Spring. And there go 2 penstocks going off, I guess, to the Blank Book Factory, I guess. And there's another penstock over there. There's a valve. And I suppose that heads to the paper mill. I don't know. There's, boy, this is a lovely spot. There's the Eldon Inn. There's that venue I was just looking at with a little barn there. This is a beautiful spot. And here's where people come, the public comes to get their spring water. .3 cubic feet per second for probably tens of thousands of years. This is the Garver Memorial Recreational Complex in this park, which is very, very old. This Little League field, I didn't know that was the whole name of it. It's got lights. It's very well attended, I think. You can see this is a school day, but they got out of school and they're out here playing. Down below there in that direction is the spring dam. There's that yellow house that's one of the mansions. There's the gap, McKee Gap down there. We're up on Hogback. And it's at the far corner of this park that I want to show you another underutilized spot. But this is lovely. Roaring Spring is a treasure. There's that yellow mill owner's mansion. There's part of the Blank Book Factory. And now we're at the opposite end of this park. And this tennis court, it used to be a tennis court. Do you see it's empty? Underutilized? I don't know. I mean, the gates, it can be locked and the gates open. I don't know if there's a gate on the far side or not. Oh, there's a tennis court there. But anyway, this is another very underutilized spot, as you can see. Now, when I was a kid, about 14, 15 years old, this is where I hung out when I had time, when I was visiting my grandfather and I couldn't be with him. It's underutilized is the thing. And an entire, not only the stage, but an entire Elizabethan theater could go here. More tennis courts, underutilized, unused. So it's another contender. Huge old trees, some protected. I have memories that come from here. There's a guy named Hoover. There was a mill worker, lived in that house. He was a mill worker, and he'd come out here in the afternoons after he woke up, because he was working second or third trick, and whoop everybody's butt in tennis. Nobody could beat him. And then right there in that yellow building, there was a woman named, or a girl at that time, named Deanna Rausch. I remember her. Had a friend, a girl named Greenleaf was her last name. So I have a lot of memories here. But in any case, as you can see, it's underutilized, unutilized. And it is way bigger than necessary to put an entire Elizabethan theater, authentic, the most authentic probably in the United States, if not in the world, could be put here. All right, kind of hate to end this video because it's just such a beautiful day, but bye for now.